Hello everyone! After an entire month, I'm back. And I know it's exactly a month. That's what it said in my one thing. It's the 12th of August. Last time I played this was the 13th of July. And I'm back. Let's see if I remember how to do things. Alright? Also, in light of a lot of different things, this is the graduation episode. The graduation of Our Darker Purpose. This shall be a full review from me of the game as I've played it throughout its release into an open beta as such, and now. And I will give my reviews as such at the end of it. I don't think you'll see anything new. If you do, I'll be sure to point it out. But here we go. Welcome to our last stop. So the first thing we do is we get a chance to get juice boxes or extra tokens. Well, juice boxes, of course. That's kind of an obvious one. Before we continue, yeah, we're in hard mode. Okay. Alright. This is already off to a great start. Okay. Now, let's start off with the first things I wanted to talk about. Now, Our Darker Purpose has gone through, I'd say, 5 or 6 updates. It can't be more than that. Alright? And through each update, they've had a couple changes. Some good, some bad. The worst update thing that they changed were these tumbles. These globes with spikes that now cannot be destroyed. That was one of the worst things they upgraded. The fact that those are now invulnerable to even your chalk, yeah. It makes Woundwort Fortress on hard harder than it needs to be. Second thing, let's talk about, we're talking about cons, okay, before we go into pros. This damage is still, oh look, a thorned clover. How many leaves does that have? 7? 7 leaf clover, alrighty. So, that is a bit annoying. Damage is not impressive enough to help with most of the things. Alright? Oh my god. And you get things like that where there was no way I was dodging. This is a Prodigal Photo album, thank god. Let's see, other cons. The game itself is super long. Oh my god, it's super long. I mean, let's take, we're going to do comparisons now. And the biggest comparison that anyone ever is going to make, alright, is between this game and The Binding of Isaac, which is still pretty enjoyable to play. I finally got Spider's Mod and I'm playing the Community Remix. It's awesome. Maybe I'll play some Community Remix for you. Spider's Mod, I just can cheat through everything. That's the basics. But the Community Remix is really fun. It's got some items that are going to be in Rebirth, some music that's going to be in Rebirth. It's the closest thing to Rebirth we have right now. You know, after taking a month off, I should have really checked my perks and not gone into hard mode. But, that'll make it easier to get this review. And to see if I really know what I'm doing. So anyway, this game is really long. It's got 12 levels in total. If you want to count it, it's 11 plus the level with the boss, the Paper Vortex, or his natural defenses, or Krakus, the Destroyer of Worlds, as he is in hard mode. It's the joke that the desks make when the guy introduces himself and says, "I think I'm the final boss." He's right. He's the final boss, Krakus, Destroyer of Worlds. I should have gone back and gotten that one thing. Oh well. Anyway, so Krakus Destroyer of Worlds is the last boss. I've never gotten to him. I've just seen and heard about him. Anyway. It takes me an hour to get through this game. An hour on an average, an hour. On a really good day, maybe 50-ish minutes. And that is depending on a lot of different factors popping in and out, such as damage, power-ups, and different item drops and class upgrades. Isaac, I can usually beat a run of Isaac every 2 times I do it, and it has, I think, 10 levels? Let's count. No, 9-ish. 10 if you have the Polaroid, I guess. Because it goes caves, or it's basement, caves, depths, womb, then either the Cathedral or Shoal, and then the chest. So 10. So Isaac has 2 less levels. It takes me about, I mean, it could take me 30 minutes and I could beat Isaac. There are reasons for this. One of the most prevalent is that in Isaac, you have a lot more stat upgrades. And stat upgrades, I mean like damage, health, speed, all kinds of stuff. Isaac has a general stat system, whereas this has a, it's more of a RNG-ish system. Like, you know, your damage is from this to this, not this, period. In Isaac, you'll be doing 3 damage. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Enemies won't be armored. There aren't critical hits. So, in Art, Arc, or Purpose, enemies are a lot tougher that way. But this also is a detriment in a way because, well, a lot of times you'll never have the damage you need. Never. To deal with the thing you're fighting. Or you won't have a specific item that makes it really simple to get through Area X. And there'll be rooms where it's just like you're gonna take the hit. You gotta. Let's see. Excuse me, it's really warm. If you saw me in my earlier video, it's really warm. It's really gotten warm in here from the day's work. Ooh, the obsolete operator. Okay. Let's see. Next thing to talk about in comparison to Isaac. Oh yeah, I was talking about stats, wasn't I? You see, in Isaac, you can raise your damage really high. I mean, to enormous levels. And that's perfectly reasonable. You will either get so powerful that bosses shall tremble before you, or that you will lose so much power that they'll just laugh. And it's a similar thing. If you don't have enough power and you get to a certain boss, like say Gertie, she's gonna whoop your butt because she has too many hit points, unless you're really good. Which is another thing. If you're really, and I mean uber super good, you could probably beat Binding of Isaac without any damage upgrades at all. And I include in this no damage upgrades as ooh, that's a big one. As no upgrades per se, like Book of Belial or anything like that. Nothing that even gives a passive, or no passive or active damage upgrades. Which, that's a little impossible to almost do because there's so many damage ups. You're bound to get one at least. I don't think there's many damage downs. Anyway, this game could benefit from something that ups your stats. Something that ups them normally, accordingly. Like pills. But in this case, it'd be something like, I don't know, grades. Maybe instead of an experience system. Because that's, let's face it, one of the more annoying things to deal with is the experience system. Every enemy you kill gives you experience, right? Well, you might be asking yourself, well, of course they do. How are we going to not have it give experience? Well, you do it like this. Let's say you beat that first floor and you got an A. Sweet. Now let's give Cordy stats. We'll start them all at 10, okay? Per standard D&D rules. They'll all start at 10. You got an A. Guess what that means? It means you get 3 points. 3 points to distribute. A B is 2, a C is 1, a D is and F means you failed anyway, so you know, that means you're dead. So for D's you get nothing, for A's you get 3, B's you get 2, C's you get 1. This would not only encourage people to get better grades, because after a while you don't care. Really, it's the credits, that's it. But it would help to make different builds. Even though you know out there someone's just going to get really good at dodging or something, and all they're going to do is put everything into strength. I mean, I would. That sounds fantastic. I mean, I've had some runs where I'm doing 700 points of damage in a single shot. It's not a crit, and it's not the cursed art supplies. So, I'm all for doing a ton of damage. It's not like that's going to get you through the entire game. Unless you're uber good. It might get you to the last boss, but then that's it. So yeah, why don't we just have points? Increase Cordy's stats, as opposed to increasing her experience gain or anything. Or even then, you know what? If you want to keep the experience, you can keep it. How about you give us an experience boost for good grades? Okay? Have an A give, I don't know, 500 extra experience, and a B give 3, and a C give 1. Something like that. Something to make it a little more, you know. And I know I sound like all I'm doing is, well, and all essentially I'm doing is making the game easier. And when you say it like that, I gotta tell you, I can't really dispute you. I am trying to make the game easier. And you wanna know why I'm trying to make the game easier? Because the game is super duper hard. It is incredibly hard. I mean, it's so hard that if you were to just pick up the game, like let's say you're a casual gamer, you pick up this game, you're not gonna, well, be very happy with it, let's say that. Because the game is very time consuming. If you don't have the time, well, then you aren't gonna get very far in it. Or maybe it can't hold your interest. You'll get like a certain amount of distance, and then all of a sudden, that's it. I'm saying to make the game easier, not because I suck and other people, you know, are whining or complaining. I'm saying make the game easier because you want more people to become interested in, or more people to play the game. And if they can't get anywhere, you're going to find a lot of people are just like, oh well. I mean, that's what you do with an old rental, isn't it? If you rented a game from Blockbuster, let's say, or even if you bought a game from GameStop or EB back in the day, you would play the game, And let's say you got to a part and you got stuck. Now this is before the internet. This is back when you didn't know what you were supposed to do, okay? It would take you hours. And I'm just saying that in those times, you might get so frustrated that you will end up returning the game. Okay? We can't really do that nowadays. We can't return games. I mean, we can. It's just, it's not the same. You know, it's kind of... Returning games nowadays is really a dumbed down version of how it was. And especially if you get it on Steam and CPU games that you have to download, especially downloadable games. You'll just download it and then you're stuck with it. That's how it works. Anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. Ways to improve this game. The first one, I mean, they've done a lot of things. If you followed on the discussions thread, you saw me post a bunch of things that I think they should do in the game. Alright? And all in all, they listened. They did. They looked at what I had said. They told me it was well thought out. My things that I had told them I thought were wrong with this game. Like shoelaces. Did you know that shoelaces does something now? It does. It's amazing. It increases your move speed by 5%. You want to know why it increases your move speed by 5%? Because just stopping confusion and being stunned for a while, I told them, it's not attractive. Not for 2 periods. It's a waste of periods. In most players' minds. I mean, I don't know anyone who's taken shoelaces. Maybe they'll take it now if they just want to give themselves a little trouble with with some extra speed boost. But even then, I still don't. I told them that the 5% might make it a little more attractive. Let's face it, it doesn't. It doesn't much. It's like still 2. It still costs 2, and we've got better things to do, in all honesty, than spend 2 periods, which are so limited. 10 periods, really? And the last things cost 4 each? Yeah, we're limited on what we can do with our periods, and we don't really want to waste them. Anyway, I'm going to go to the fortress right now because, you know, you can only live X number of times. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what the flavor packs do, they do your hit points maximum worth of damage to the enemy on the screen. Just does your max hit points. Every enemy on the screen takes it. This includes bosses. So it's a great way to get a large boost out of your juice boxes. The fact that it makes the sound like you've gotten injured every time you use it is kind of annoying. Although I'm pretty sure I'm getting injured like almost all the time right now. I swear to God I'm hitting E and nothing's happening. Is this thing broken yet? There, thank God. So, I'm taking a lot of stupid damage because there's very few ways to. Well, let's put it this way. I don't care right now. I really don't. I'm just trying to hurt the fortress as much as possible. Taking damage is kind of a moot point right now. Oh, I'm out, you know. Other than the fact that I'm out now. How about this? Take that, Fortress Woundwort. Oh, there I go, and I'm down. But yeah, or even have our credits. You see how I have 5,588 credits? Let me buy temporary. Like, next time that you go into the game, stat upgrades. Okay? Like, let me buy damage up, 10. It could cost 500 credits for all I care. And then I can buy it 11 times. And then I start with 190 damage, and I'm like, sweet! And then when I die, I have no credits, and I have to go like, no! And I have to farm again. And at least it'd be something, right? It'd give you a chance. It'd give you more of a chance against things like that hard mode. Against things like having to try and get to the last area boss and everything. It'd just be a lot more chances for you to do stuff. Or have these be purchasable as unlocks, you know? Instead of just having to purchase them and beat the achievement. Will this be the last time I play Our Darker Purpose? No, it won't. It's the last time that I'm going to do a video on it unless something big, major occurs in it. In summary, my thoughts on Our Darker Purpose, if I had to give it a number, and numbers are arbitrary, you don't care. It doesn't matter what I give it. If I had to give it a number, though, on a system of 0 to 10, okay? People say 1 to 10, but I'm on 0 to 10. My score for Our Darker Purpose is somewhere lying in between 6 and 7 out of 10, okay? It's a great concept. I like the idea. I like the game. It's just not done yet. Let's face it. This game is not done yet. It still has some ways to go. It still has some improvements to make. It's balls to the wall hard after a while, and since it keeps starting you back at the start, and everything is always just randomized, it's just crazy, especially for hard mode. After a while, normal mode, just nothing. I can beat normal mode pretty easily. Almost every other time that I play normal mode, I'll beat it. But it's just the people who play Our Darker Purpose still, okay, are either still trying to get achievements or they're killing time. Because with things like the Binding of Isaac's Spider mod and the Community Remix mod and Rebirth coming out soon, Crypt of the Necrodancer out, all these other games, Our Darker Purpose is kind of falling to the wayside. The art, good. Music, good. Story, it's there, but it's kind of lacking. I would have liked more story. The most story you get is from the achievements that you collect, and even those are just one-page things. Like, I like reading about the bosses. That was fun. But I'd like to know more about the school itself. I'd like to know what it is we're in. And I've seen the thread of what's the story. I've posted in the thread of what's the story and what my take is. It's a good idea. We still don't know. No one's ever officially come out and tell us. But my take on Our Darker Purpose, just like I said, story, art, good, music, good, gameplay, it's alright. Replayability, after a while, it drops really far, because you'll still encounter weird bugs. You'll still encounter some strange some strange things. And you know what would actually really help this game? And I'm just putting this out there right now. Okay, this isn't any of the other stuff I was talking about, like with damage and crap. No. Open it to the workshop. Let some modders in. Let them mod it. Let them do some things. Let's get some mods up in this bitch. Let's change things around. Let them do stuff. The only thing I'm worried about is that, well, I guess they would have to make a little modding tool for it. But I'd like, if you could mod this, maybe you could make it more interesting and make it fun for yourself. If not others again. Anyway, that's my Our Darker Purpose. That's my thoughts. Our Darker Purpose is a solid 6.5 to 7 out of 10. It's really great when you first start playing. The first time you die, you're mad, but you're like, oh, I died, don't worry, I'll get better. And you keep going, and at some point in time you do. You'll get better. You'll learn all the weird tricks. And then you won't have anywhere else to go. And like a lot of games, you'll beat it and you'll be like, well, that was that. Or you'll get to a place that's so hard that you're like, oh, screw this. And you'll never touch it again. Except maybe every now and again you'll look down at your Steam or in the folder that it's in and be like, you know what, let me try this again. And you will, and maybe you'll succeed better. But my thoughts are, it's a fun game. It doesn't have much last long value in it. It could be better. It needs to be better in order to stand out. This is VayNexus signing off on our graduation episode from Our Darker Purpose. I'll catch you all later.